what we do at this time. Look at the very critical issues and having conversations that we engender, that we enhance a better working nation. The nation that we are proud of you good people that forms a great nation. This nation called Nigeria. And that is why we wait and do whatever we have to do to come here and have this conversation. Nigeria must grow. Nigeria must prosper. And if there is any platform that offers that conversation, it is Morning Spring here at Western Spring Television, channel 190, Star Times DTT, and also on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Good morning. Good to have you join us. Good morning, lady.
Good morning, Femi.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Very well. Good to have you here.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
I think I'm just asking for emphasis. I mean, for etiquette's sake. You look okay already. You look good.
Okay. We thank God. You look great to yourself.
Right. Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, dearest viewers. And I am Uzom Sekijipo. Welcome to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, where we give you the news as it is.
Of course, and exactly that is what we are going to continue today. The 45th and the 47th United States of America, has been sworn in. That is Donald John Trump.
Yeah.
He's now officially the president. Yesterday, at this time, we're talking about it, and today is official. Time has passed that level, and so he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States of America. So he holds that presidential power as the constitution of that country has given it to him. And of course, it was quite an event yesterday. It's expected.
Right.
There wasn't any disappointment.
Quite an event yesterday, especially during his speech. Most persons would be like, are you sure Trump is actually coming into rule, or he's coming in for war, some form of war? Like,
how do you mean?
The way he was, some of the things he was actually after, like, the one that really caught me was when he said Panama Canal was foolishly given, like the word he used was foolishly given away, and the way he was talking so calmly, and he was giving as a form of treaty to Panama. But right now, China is the one handling the Panama Canal, and we're gonna take it back. I'm like, what's that?
That's strong for you.
Right.
One thing about him, he is unconventional. Actually, he's a disruptor, so to speak. He doesn't follow the regular rules.
Yes, he's unpredictable.
You are not expected that, except you don't know him. And that might be a positive thing, and it could also be a negative thing as well, because there is a system in place. There are some expectations, posh, finesse, candor, grace, some things that are expected of any person occupying that position. But I'm not sure he's ready for all of that. He hasn't been that person. But one thing about him, he knows who he is as a president, and he knows he has power, and he wants to exercise that power.
Really?
And so that's one thing. How he does it is another conversation on his own. And he has made a range of announcements since yesterday. It's been back to back. Like when the real definition of hitting the ground running was what Trump did yesterday. Some of them already controversial already, but then we have the program to discuss that today, and it, as expected, it was an event that had world leaders across the from almost all the continent. Former presidents were there of the United States. Barack Obama was there.
George Bush.
George Bush. Almost all of them that are alive were there yesterday. Congressmen and women, and even Joe Biden, was there. And,
definitely, he will have to be there. He's the one handing over.
In Nigeria, he doesn't have to be there. We've seen president that doesn't, or governors rather, that because of one thing or another, they don't attend the transition, the inauguration of their successor, especially if they are not on the same party. It doesn't have to be like that. In spite of the tense atmosphere between the two guys, between the two camps, there are things that even if you don't want to do as a person, there is a system that mandates you that you must do
do it.
he welcomed Donald Trump to the White House with his wife,
and the Vice
Melania,
President.
and of course, yes, Mr. Vance and all of that. After the ceremony, he had to take his leave. The shopper was waiting, who took him and his wife away from that Oval Office. And, some might say, maybe he might stage a comeback if he wants to, but I'm not sure. Because even at this point, he didn't really he didn't contest for office. He had to drop for the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and all of that. But, he's gone. And governance will continue. And that's life.
Did you
won't be there forever.
See his reaction or the way he was looking during Trump's inauguration speech?
How?
Well, he was, at some point, he was like this.
Okay. At
some point, his head was bowed down. Like
I'm not sure you're expecting him to be cheering.
Well, at some point, he had to, I believe, like, after the first time Trump said, during his speech, when he said, God saved him from the gunshot wound to his ear to come back and save America. And everyone got up and said, clapping, this ovation. But he and his wife were the only ones seated. I had to take my time to watch that video, actually. But at some point, he got up. He joined.
Yeah, but then he doesn't have to. And that's an old man there.
But
then the Nigerian in you want to put meaning to all those things. But I'm not sure it does matter. But then we have time for that in the course of the program as well. And of course, there is an update on the situation in Anambra State, that fatal shooting of
the FCC
assistant, that FCC man, Mr. Salisu, and, let your fingers be crossed so that we don't preempt everything from now. We can take this quick break. And when I mean an update, a very big one, by the way, we look into the anti-corruption fight, the rules of engagement. And while we are saying we should do things properly, there is a war to be fought on corruption as well. So how do we manage these two positions without really crossing the line and still falling, respecting human dignity in all of that? That will be after now. But first, we have the newspapers. I will be starting from the Guardian newspaper, Guardian for today. Federal government's free cesarean section, 104 facilities to enlist as pilot phase record 2,819 beneficiaries. Again, 104, talking about the federal government's free cesarean section, C-section, 104 facilities to enlist as pilot phase record 2,819 beneficiaries, with the image below that benefit is that of Mr. Trump taking his oath of office. Anxiety as Trump returns to power, recognizes only two genders. We look into that as well. Now, before that, the issue of the cesarean section, the free cesarean section, announced by the government, as it was received with cheers, like, wow, that would be a good help intervention. But then what we talked about here, how many persons, I've been talking about, is the workability. The right information for people to know what to do, where to go, how to go about it. Now we are hearing that 104 facilities are to enlist as pilot phase, records 2,819 beneficiaries. If my knowledge of English is not too rusty, it means already 2,819 people have benefited
from it.
Who are they? Where did they benefit?
And how did they get that information?
How did they know that they were entitled to that? Did they just walk into hospitals? We are not saying that's not true, but things are not done this way. It's not that. Possibly you just find yourself in a hospital and then the information, you just go to the wards, get to the ward or the antenatal, whatever unit, and then you are told, oh, you're eligible for this. That's not the way to run. Things should not be done in secrecy, and that's the issue. I think we should get to that point in Nigeria that before program intervention is announced.
It's announced.
Everything is ready.
Yeah. All the
moment you announce, go ahead with your workings, how it will be, where people need to go. If it's an online thing, the website to visit, and let the website be ready. It's not the website that they will tell you over, 24 hours it has crashed. And they will say, it's because the volume of people that visited the website was much. What are you expecting? These are the issues. If it's a physical place, the moment anybody comes to board to announce that thing, make sure you are ready. It's not just in the incubation stage. All things are ready. You say it, tell the people where to go, for how long it will run, the numbers of persons that are allowed, the age range, if it has to do with age, if it's totally free, let them know it's free. And the people that we monitor, they must be on ground. That's the way how to run a country. I don't understand this one that we do. Now we are here in 2,819 persons are benefited.
How?
Who are they?
We don't even know the hospitals.
You can't know. The information is not there. And it doesn't have to be information that are peculiar to some persons. Yes, or is an under-G arrangement, or is a party thing, is a tribal thing. We don't want to see all of those things again. Or the people that are close to some persons are the one having that information. No. In as much as it has been made public, it's not too bad. Go through the pages of newspapers, make a publication over and over for like a week. Go to radio stations. Every means of passing this information to people should be harnessed. Is that too big?
You know, Nigerians would naturally say that when it gets to things that will benefit Nigerians, it takes a lot of time for people to actually get to know about it.
What exactly?
But when it's something that maybe they want to hike fuel price, we hear it and we have the right information.
Or the high and mighty needs their office specs to be met.
You get the information.
I don't have to say anything. It's this way. You don't understand. 2,890. Now, if Nigerians will say, and let's say this to the camera, if Nigerians will say that this is a lie, you will now see people, handlers of the government, coming out to say, who are they, the opposition, the enemies of the government. And we are saying this at this time. This is not how to run a country. We deserve better as a person. We deserve better as a nation. And we must do that.
Yeah, everything in this country is based on politics.
It doesn't have to be.
Politicize everything.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Now, the thing is, this information might be true. 2,819 persons might have originally benefited. But how did they get to know?
And there are some persons that are in dire need of this, and they don't even have the information. They don't know they don't know how to go about it, and they're looking for a way to get this free CS. And some persons already have the information. Yet, and we're saying it's federal government intervention. How?
One thing is, in the next 3 months or 6 months, or any opportunity that government handlers has opportunity to say what they have done, they will put this figure there.
Of course, they are going to add one of the
this is what we have done. Who are your beneficiaries? Who are they? That's a question we keep asking. Away from that, EFCC arraigns AMCON XMD, others, on alleged 76 billion naira. $31.5 million fraud. And here, still on the sad incident that happened in Niger tanker explosion, death toll rises to 98. As our Greek minister mourns victims, I think yesterday it was 80 or so 86. That was reported, 86. Now, increase of 12 again. Because, the degree of burns is severe. So, sadly...
Can't even begin to imagine.
One can imagine. Just drop the imagination because it was a terrible. And we need to do better, because this program is essentially for information and education and having frank conversation. I think people, apart from people that go to school fail, I was on the social media and I saw this particular video in which we have to do better as a people. There was a tanker that had issues and was burning, right?
Yeah.
But then, luckily, the men of the fire service were there.
Yeah.
They were doing their work and all of those things. I don't know. Maybe those ones were not that trained, or it was just an unfortunate incident, or they thought they had everything under control, because the big hose water and everything was, the thing was looking like it was practically off, right? And all of a sudden, one fire guy, climbed the truck, and other ones were still, sprinkling the water and all of those things. And you see people gathered. They were watching in a very close range. I didn't know what happened. Either there was a spark somewhere. One guy, pointed the hose without force, and the hose came with fire from nowhere on the tanker. The next thing, the boom of the fire. Don't forget, there was a guy on top of that tanker. They don't need to tell you that wasn't his gun. And the issue is the people that were now watching. Everybody, the closest ones were swept with the flame of that fire. What am I saying? I think we need to do better. Yeah, we need to immediately there are issues. Move far away. Now the issue is this: everybody wants to do like a video. Everybody wants to, even an accident scene. Instead of rendering help, people want to. I'm sure it's not really a bad thing at times, but then it can be a bad thing. Safety first. And you see people, fire service guys sometimes complain that the onlookers, they don't allow them to do their work. These are some of the issues. Everybody is encroaching. What are you doing there? It was quite an unfortunate incident that appeared like it was under control. One ignition, one spark, one thing somewhere, boom, and everything started again. And we are talking about flame. Yeah. It is sad. Let's do better. As a people, you don't have to die today. You can postpone it till some other time, if that means anything. Please, less than 1,000 mines active as NMCO issues 7,000 mining licenses. And you see the picture of Minister Dele Alakedia. This one minister, that many persons will think he has been put in the wrong ministry because he has been, albeit unusually quiet, not like quite quiet, but Dele Alake, it's like he's a fish out of the water. It's looking like that. But then I think he's doing the best he can do. Below that, police foil bandit attacks, rescue 207 trafficked children. That's a good one. Thank you, Nigeria Police, for that. Let's keep going. Reps declare Tinubu's 595 billion naira allocation to intelligence inadequate. And I think this is a pattern. I don't know the people, or there is a bigger plan. I've seen 3 or 4 ministries or MDAs of the government that have gone to the National Assembly in this defense that they are on right now. Yeah. And you've seen the National Assembly members, if you follow the defense, saying the fund allocated to them is small. The fund allocated to you is small. The fund allocated to, I think, the Ministry of Livestock, very small. Another ministry, very small. In this particular case, it has to do with intelligence, very small. All right. I hope we have these monies. We want more of it. And top stream, healthy economy without impact on average Nigerian worries senators. Healthy economy, in inverted commas now. Nigerians to pay 50% more for calls, data, and SMS. Yeah. Okay, I think you need to know. Let's tell you what the Minister of, Telecommunications, Minister Bosun is saying, that henceforth, Nigerians will pay 50% more for calls, data, and SMS. You heard it. And I am unsure of unemployment statistics in Nigeria, says Labour Minister. Here we go again. A nation's Labour Minister is not sure of the statistics, even from the Bureau of Statistics of the same Nigeria. Of the same Nigeria, and he's not sure. These are the issues, right? And let him be sure. Or better still, Nigerians want to ask Mr. Minister, can we have your own statistics? At least the one that you are sure of. You're sure. So that we know all of these things. That will be all. But before that, healthy economy without impact on average Nigerian worries senators. And I think we have gotten to a time in Nigeria where healthy economy, development, progress, a working nation is not being felt at all, but is being explained. Yes. Now, what kind of a healthy economy are we having? Development, progress, improvement that we take the handlers of the government to be explaining. You don't need explanation if these things are working. In this country, we are only theoretically based. I'm not sure it's even about theory. We only do theory. We don't do practice. We don't practice it. I'm not even sure it's about theory. It's when you have to explain for me that my life is getting better, then I think, is that something is wrong with you, or something is wrong with me. Either of us are having one issues or the other. That's it. If I have to tell you that your life is getting better, for you to know, is either something is wrong with me or something is wrong with you. Either of us, there is a fault somewhere. You know, the handlers of government will say things are getting better, and you are explaining it
because they just want it to be documented.
Nigerians are saying, I can't feel it.
They want it to be documented so that the foreigners, the outside nations, can actually see that, okay, in Nigeria,
things are working.
Yes, right? Things are working. That's what they need. Exactly. But we're not feeling it. We can't come out and say, oh, it is working for us. Because it's obviously not working.
You know that song by, I think it was Tim Godfrey. It's Tim Togwe. Is it working? It's working. Onaga.
Onaga.
Now we are from the Guardian for today. Okay,
and on the Nigerian Tribune this morning we have another Trump era begins. Yes, another Trump era begins. Right. And we have potential impact on Nigeria, oil, global trade, climate, gender, immigration. Okay, so these are some of the riders of which Trump administration or his era is going to be working on. We have presidential impact on Nigeria, oil, global trade, climate, gender, and immigration. We also have solid minerals. NAS doubts federal government's commitment to diversify economy. Solid minerals. NAS doubts federal government's commitment to diversify economy. And the riders there: summons finance, budgets, ministers, budget DG. Ministry of Solid Minerals, budget defense deferred. And we have our picture there. And it goes with commissioning of the 5-kilometer Abuja Road by the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on Monday. You can see him right there in the picture, in center, on a white attire or outfit with a black cap and a microphone.
Okay.
So we have NCC, okay, it's 50% telecoms tariff hike. Oh my goodness. Finally, they have reached an agreement, and Nigerians are going to be feeling it pretty soon. Like, I already started feeling mine like some days back. I was feeling mine, and let me send my bank. My banks are owing.
I don't know why I'm feeling musical today. You know, there is a song to that as well. When you say you are feeling it, Davido sang a song like that, but I won't sing it.
Okay.
Where they say you go feel it, Nigerians will feel it right now.
All right, I think that
50% increase in telecoms, in calls and in data means you'll be paying more for the same service. But then, I think in fairness, the telecommunications deserve some of these considerations.
Yeah,
but the thing is, will it improve the service they are offering, the quality of service? That's one thing.
Well, I'll say that for me, a particular network tries with their service. No.
Okay, we'll have to see about
that. All right, but then we're hoping for the best because it's not going to be easy on Nigerians at all.
All right.
So we have man found to be HIV positive after raping girl with sickle cell disease in Abuja. Really? Really? Both of them, the man is HIV positive and the girl is a sickler. How can you even do? What if the girl had died while you were doing that? Because sicklers are very
they're fragile.
Yes, they're fragile, and they tend to always fall into illness when you least expect.
That's the fragility we're talking about. That's a madman there, I dare say. If it is proved that yes, the rape happened, that's a madman. Either he has done it to a sick person or an SS,
person
or no, normal is not the word.
Okay.
SS are normal as well.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. So
it's done into a sickler
or non-sickler.
Non-sickler.
Right.
Sure.
That's it's madness. It's crazy. It's wicked, and it doesn't follow. Because I used to say that I'm not a proponent of people being promiscuous, right? But there are more than enough persons that are willing to have this thing that you are forcing on people if actually you know how to go about it. That's it.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying, there are many persons that are willing. So how mad are you that you think putting somebody in pains to have your way is just a way to, you know, it will never be explainable especially if it is found to be true. These are the issues. Now, it's a double jeopardy for somebody who is an SS patient, sickle cell anemia, having that, with the pain of being an SS person in the first place. Now, that person has been infected with HIV. That means the immunity is dead. It's a double jeopardy. That's why I said that's a crazy person there.
A very crazy person.
The court will have, person. To say on that.
And on the last story there this morning, we have alleged 42.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC files 13-count charge against Otudeco, others. Okay, alleged 42.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC files 13-count charge against Otudeco, others. And that'll be all on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, from the Nigerian Tribune, we move to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust has these: federal government reawards Abuja-Kaduna highway contract to inactive company. Again, federal government reawards Abuja-Kaduna highway contract to inactive company. And whatever that means. We have these $6 billion Mambila power contract. Sunrise CEO testifies in Paris court today. And police mom as officer found dead in Abuja hotel. Sad. And count us out of negotiations with bandit. Casino government. I think that's from Governor Diko Rada there. Count us out of negotiations with bandit. I think that's a good place to start. It's not just by counting you out, you must pursue them. These are the issues as well. And it's a good place to know that the government is saying we won't negotiate with bandits, because we've seen different governments in the past negotiate with bandits. Some of them even took pictures with bandits carrying Kalashnikov in their hands, or to say, oh, we have an understanding. Who negotiates with a bandit? Who negotiates with a terrorist? It's an ideology. And after that, they will look like there was peace, like a week or two after.
They heat it up again.
These are the issues. And below that, you have a picture of a house having some clothes being spread outside that. And below that, we have Abbas leads discuss on food security at 22nd Daily Trust Dialogue. Mahia, Nzamujo, others to examine ways of boosting agri-production. Trump inaugurated, declares mass deportation. Says only two genders in U.S., the male and the female gender, as far as government of the business. Business of the government is concerned. Federal government approves 50% hike in calls and data tariffs. And PDP NEC meeting threatened as governors choose flops. Again, PDP NEC meeting threatened as governors choose flops. That will be all from the Daily Trust.
And on the Punch this morning, we have court condemns media trial, denies EFCC arrest warrant request, says Otudeco, others not properly served. And the writers there, I served FBN with dedication and integrity. Anasanya, I'll defend my reputation aggressively, Otudeco. 50% tariff hike. Nigerians may spend 6.7 trillion naira on calls.
It is what it is.
And the Riders Telecoms Group insists hike should have been lower, threatens suit ahead of February implementation date. Okay. And we can see the picture there of Trump taking his oath of office, his vice president, and then you can see the picture of Joe Biden also. Okay, these are some of the people that came for the inauguration. Now we have under there, we have Trump returns as 47th US president, rejects transgender illegal immigration. Sanwo-Olu pledges to work with new Lagos speaker. Okay, you just reminded me of the whole saga that happened. I think that was last week, right?
Yeah.
The Lagos house.
Life continues, man.
Yeah, life continues. And we have 6 killed, 3 injured in Ogun multiple crashes. 6 killed, 3 injured in Ogun multiple crashes. All these sad incidents coming up days back to back. I mean, it's really well with us. We don't wish this on anybody. We don't pray for such at all, because families are losing loved ones, and it's heartbreaking. It's disheartening, actually. It's saddening to lose people. Now, on the last story there this morning, we have court adjourns Dangote Refinery's 100 billion naira suit against marketers. Court adjourns Dangote Refinery's 100 billion naira suit against marketers. Okay, I think we're in the oil industry fight. Well, we all want the best for Nigerians, actually, right. But I would actually leave the court to decide that. I'm not a lawyer, then I'm a judge. But the whole back and forth of the rising and falling of the PMS is not really nice at all. Nigerians felt like, oh, we're getting somewhere during the Yuletide, and all of a sudden there's this hike again. It feels like, oh, so that means it's the normal way. We're already used to this. So that means we're expecting more. Well, some Nigerians might say, you might be surprised by next month, it might get to 1,000 something. We wait to see. It's indeed, it's really well. And that brings a close to the newspaper segment of Morning Spring this morning. So stay with us. We'll be right back to continue with talks that concern us and help us to get informed.